If I told you a week ago that your neighborhood video game store would soon be the hottest stock in America, you probably would have laughed. But today, GameStop is at the center of a David and Goliath battle between amateur investors and established Wall Street traders.
Like so many other movements these days, it all started online. Followers of the Wall Street Bets forum on Reddit decided the pros got it wrong, betting against GameStop and AMC and others alike them. And they encouraged each other to buy in. It sent stock prices soaring, humiliating the pros and making a lot of money for some amateur investors.
But before you go cleaning out your savings account and buying up GameStop stock, take a breath. There's a lot of things we need to tell you about tonight, and I'm glad you're with us. Welcome to Denver 7 News at 10. I'm Shannon Ogden. And
I'm Jessica Porter in for Ann Trujillo. Thank you for joining us. The first thing to know, GameStop and AMC stock tanked today. GameStop stock ended the day 44% lower. AMC is down 57%.
And experts warn we really don't know where this roller coaster ride's going. And as Denver 7's Gary Brode reports tonight, red flags are being raised that big companies tried to shut down successful amateur investors. And Colorado lawmakers say they're going to get to the bottom of it.
It was almost game over for GameStop. Not many of these iconic stores remain around the country. Things were looking grim until a group on the social media platform Reddit band together to put the squeeze on Wall Street.
What goes up as fast as GameStop can go down just as fast.
We've all been wondering when the game will end. As stock prices dramatically dipped for GameStop Thursday, it seems likely it's sooner rather than later.
So I would really tell people not to buy GameStop or anything that has surged as much as it has for any reason.
Alan Roth started Wealth Logic, an hourly-based financial investment firm. He cautions possible investors not to buy into the hype we've been hearing about.
And emotions are your biggest enemy, emotions and expenses when it comes to investing.
Emotion is what played a part as to why a subgroup of Reddit users began buying up the stock of some struggling companies like GameStop, AMC, and Nokia. The group's creators spoke to CNN this week, saying even he was surprised how quickly this took off.
The speed at which this thing is growing is what's making it really hard to keep up with. I definitely think that there's going to be changes towards a longer term. And I think that the force with which this is happening is slapping everyone in the face and forcing them to do something about it now.
So here's what happened. That Reddit group bought a bunch of stock of those companies because Wall Street bet against them. Large investors sometimes borrow shares in hopes of selling high back to the lender and then buying it back in the future at a lower price. It's a controversial technique called short selling.
But what many hedge funds have had to do is sell it at one price and then buy it back at a much higher price, resulting in massive losses for many people who are investors in these hedge funds.
Chris Hewen is an associate professor of finance at Denver University. He calls this movement symbolic of what's going on in society during the pandemic.
A lot of high net worth individuals have had much invested in the stock market. They've been able to work from home. They haven't suffered as much from the pandemic as many people in lower income brackets.
The meteoric rise in stock prices caused trading apps like Robinhood to press the pause button.
So I was kind of like, hey, I just want to be a part of this.
Alex Kelly tried to buy a modest $150 worth of stock Wednesday night on Robinhood's app. Thursday morning, he found out the transaction didn't go through.
Honestly, when I got denied, I'm like, oh well, I guess I don't get to be in on the fun.
Hewen says it's not the first time trading companies have halted the ability to buy stock.
I think that Robinhood is probably doing what they need to do in order to keep their investors and their clients safe. While this particular case is getting a lot of press, it's not that unusual for brokerage firms to restrict trading on borrowed money called margin.
Robinhood tweeted Thursday it will allow some stocks of GameStop to be purchased on Friday. But Colorado State Congressman Dave Williams is already calling on an investigation into Robinhood's actions. Williams wrote a letter to Colorado Attorney General Philip Weiser calling Robinhood's actions market manipulation, going on to write, forcing regular, hardworking citizens to cover the losses of billionaire Wall Street speculators is heartless, un-American, and deserves the strongest possible response from public officials like us. In Aurora, Gary Brode, Denver 7.